Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever felt like you're just, drowning in marketing buzzwords, unsure which metrics actually hold real weight? Today, our mission is to cut through all that noise. We want to help you understand what truly moves the needle for businesses, particularly in demand gen measurement.
That's right. The landscape has definitely shifted. We're way past just counting like vanity metrics, clicks, or impressions. For B2B companies especially, success in 2025 really hinges on tangible business outcomes,
Yeah.
actual revenue, new customers.
Yeah.
So this deep dive is all about giving you the tools, the knowledge to measure what truly matters.
And it's a huge challenge, isn't it? Marketers know data is important, but something like 87% say it's their most underutilized asset. That's staggering. So this isn't just about knowing the metrics, it's about bridging that gap, right? Turning data into insights you can actually use.
Okay, so if we're moving beyond those surface level numbers, what are the absolute bedrock principles for doing measurement effectively? Where do we even start? Well, the foundational principle, I'd say, is strategic alignment. It sounds simple, but your metrics just have to connect directly back to your big business goals. Things like brand awareness, lead volume, or, most importantly, driving revenue. A really common pitfall I see all the time is sales and marketing being misaligned.
Ah, yeah.
Mm,
The classic divide.
exactly. If they have different goals or even define a lead differently, well, their efforts can kind of cancel each other out. So getting everyone on the same page, agreeing on what success looks like, that's absolutely critical. Step one.
It sounds easy on paper, but getting sales and marketing to actually agree on a definition of success, that can be tough in practice. What's one practical thing a company can do?
Yeah, you're right. It's often more cultural than technical. A good first step is creating a shared source of truth. Like, get the leaders in a room, agree on joint KPIs, maybe a single dashboard both teams use. It builds that shared understanding and, frankly, accountability. No more pointing fingers.
That makes total sense. Okay, so once you're aligned, you need the big picture, which brings us to the full funnel view. This means tracking performance right from that first touch point, that early awareness, all the way through conversion and, even the value they bring afterwards. As you're listening, maybe think about your own process. Where do things get bottlenecked?
Exactly. The full funnel view means really looking closely at those early metrics, MQLs, marketing qualified leads, signups, things like that. And then, crucially, tracking the conversion rates at every single stage that follows. You have to remember, demand gen isn't a quick hit. It's often a long process, long sales cycles. It needs consistent value, consistent content, even before sales jumps in. It's about nurturing that relationship.
Okay, here's something I hear a lot. The obsession with just volume. Let's dig into that. Is more always better with leads? Should we prioritize quality over quantity?
Oh, absolutely not. More is definitely not always better. Chasing huge volumes of, say, website traffic that just bounces, that's a classic pitfall. Expensive, too.
Yeah.
The focus has to be on the quality of those leads, those interactions. Do they actually match your ideal customer profile, your ICP? Are they showing real intent? Because if you're chasing unqualified leads, you're just wasting time and inflating your customer acquisition costs, your CAC. And, even how we define engagement quality is changing. It's getting deeper, including things like, well, dark social.
Dark social. Okay, that sounds intriguing. What exactly is dark social? Is it more than just like LinkedIn comments or private groups?
Yeah, it sounds a bit cloak and dagger, doesn't it? But really, dark social is just all those powerful conversations happening where tracking is difficult. Think DMs on social platforms, private Slack channels, WhatsApp groups, even just people sharing links via email without any tracking tags. These are places where influence happens, where decisions get made, but your standard analytics often miss them completely. Big blind spot.
Right, that makes sense. And okay, the final principle. These aren't just things you set up once and forget. Demand gen is iterative, always changing, which leads to data-driven optimization.
You nailed it. It's about constantly looking at your key performance indicators, your KPIs, and using those insights to make improvements continuously. Remember that 87% stat about underutilized data. The real issue often isn't a lack of data. It's translating that data into the right questions and then building a culture that actually uses the answers to make decisions. Bridging that gap, better tools, better skills, a data-first mindset that's a huge competitive edge. It lets you clearly show your marketing ROI.
Okay, so we've got the principles. Alignment, full funnel, quality optimization. Now let's get practical. What's the actual toolkit? What are the numbers we should really be tracking?
Let's dive into lead and pipeline metrics. Okay, so MQLs, marketing qualified leads. These are the prospects marketing says are, pretty much ready for sales. Then you've got SQL sales qualified leads. They're further along, much higher chance of actually becoming a customer. Tracking that MQL to SQL conversion rate, absolutely vital. It tells you how healthy your pipeline is, if marketing's leads are actually any good for sales. We also need to look at cost per lead, or CPL. That's just how much it costs you to get one lead. But, and this is crucial, a low CPL doesn't mean much if the leads are junk, right? Quality is paramount. A cheap, bad lead is still a waste. Then lead conversion rates, what percentage actually become customers. The average is around 6.6%, but it varies wildly. Like email marketing kills it with around 19.3% on average. Google Ads was about 6.96% overall in 2024. And interestingly, despite the focus on quality, about 70% of marketers do rate their leads as high quality, so that's positive.
Those cover the early stages well, but at the end of the day, it's about the bottom line, isn't it? Which brings us to revenue and customer metrics, the stuff that directly hits the P&L.
Absolutely. This is where the rubber meets the road. So cost per acquisition, or CPA. That's your total cost to get one paying customer, not just a lead, a customer. Then, customer lifetime value, or CLV. How much revenue do you expect from that customer over their entire relationship with you? And here's a key benchmark. For healthy growth, your CLV really should be at least 3 times your CPA. That CLV.SNAC ratio is critical. Return on investment, ROI, is the big one, overall efficiency. The basic formula is net profit marketing spend times 100. Simple but powerful. We also track average deal size, what's a typical sale worth, and contribution to total revenue by channel, plus the close rate per channel, which channels are actually bringing in the money and closing deals. And lastly, sales velocity. How fast are you turning leads into customers? You see how it all connects. A low CPL only matters if leads are high quality because that impacts your CPA and CLV. Optimizing CAC makes sales more productive and boosts that all-important ROI.
Okay, connecting this to the bigger tech trends, AI is everywhere. How is it specifically changing the game in demand gen measurement? I mean, what's it actually doing?
Oh, AI is. It's really reimagining the whole process. Think hyper-personalization on a scale we couldn't do before. AI analyzes individual content consumption, figures out what resonates. And predictive engagement, AI forecasting who's likely to engage and when. This lets us move beyond broad segments to treat each prospect as a segment of one. We're seeing this with AI SDRs, sales development reps. They can dynamically look at intent signals, constantly refine what makes a good lead based on past deals that actually closed. And this is huge. It frees up the human sales team for the really high-value, complex conversations. And remember, dark social. AI is starting to help map those harder-to-track influences. It's shifting attribution away from just who clicked last towards understanding the whole web of influence, maybe using things like marketing mix modeling more effectively.
So if AI is doing more of the grunt work, what happens to the marketer's role? Does it become more strategic, less tactical?
Exactly that. It elevates the role. AI handles the repetitive stuff, the large-scale analysis. This frees up leaders to focus on strategy, on designing those AI-powered journeys, on really nailing that sales and marketing alignment we talked about. But AI is only as good as the data you feed it. Remember, only 44% of marketers feel their data is high quality, and 87% aren't using it fully. So bringing in AI isn't just a tech project, it's fundamentally a data transformation project. Garbage in, garbage out still applies.
Okay, makes sense. Now, attribution. The customer journey is so messy, right? So many touch points. How do we go beyond just counting clicks and actually give credit fairly?
Yeah, attribution is tricky. We definitely need to move past those simplistic single-touch models like first click or last click gets all the credit. It just doesn't reflect reality. That's where multi-touch attribution, or MTA, comes in. MTA models look at all the touch points and assign partial credit across the journey. Gives you a much better picture. They're different flavors, like linear gives equal credit to everything. Time decay gives more weight to touches closer to the sale. U-shape gives most credit to the first touch and the lead conversion touch. W-shape highlights the first touch, lead conversion, and the final opportunity creation touch. Each model gives you a slightly different perspective, a different insight into what's working. You can also do custom multi-touch, where you manually set the weights based on your business logic. That can be really powerful if done right. But the really sophisticated approach is data-driven attribution, or DDA. It uses machine learning. Google Analytics 4 uses this to figure out the credit algorithmically. It's generally the most accurate, but
It can be a bit of a black box.
exactly. Hard to know precisely why it assigned credit the way it did. And then there's marketing mix modeling, or MMM. That's more top-down, looking at historical data across all marketing efforts to see the overall impact on sales and KPIs. Helps with big-picture budget decisions.
It really sounds like AI and these advanced attribution models are kind of working hand in hand now.
Absolutely. There's a real synergy. AI helps make sense of those complex journeys and even starts to untangle dark social for attribution. The future is likely combining MMM for that high-level strategic view, where should we invest overall, with AI-powered DDA for the granular, dynamic, day-to-day understanding of individual paths. It's less about just crediting the past and more about predicting and influencing the future.
So we have all this amazing tech, but what about the human side? What are the sticky organizational hurdles that still make demand gen measurement challenging?
You're right, tech isn't a magic wand. That sales marketing alignment gap, it's still a huge issue. Leads directly to wasted money and effort. The fix, it's about clear, shared goals, regular communication, maybe even daily check-ins between sales and marketing leads. Shared metrics everyone agrees on. It's really a cultural and structural thing. Needs leadership buy-in. It's not just about plugging in software.
And what about actually nurturing leads effectively? That stat, 80% of deals needing maybe 5 follow-ups. That shows it's hard work.
It really does. It's a balancing act. You need the right follow-up timing, not too much, not too little. You need content that's tailored to where they are in their journey, and crystal clear qualification criteria agreed upon with sales. Those AI SDRs can help here, filtering leads dynamically. It also means managing all your different lead sources effectively and really building a customer-first culture. And for B2B, doing what's called multi-threading.
Multi-threading, what do you mean by that specifically? Well,
Yeah. Especially in B2B deals, you can't rely on just one contact at the target company. Multi-threading means actively building relationships with several key people, decision makers, influencers, stakeholders within that account. It makes your deal more resilient and helps your message land more effectively across the organization. But yeah, even with AI, the human touch, collaboration, strategy, relationship building, it's still absolutely vital.
Okay, let's look ahead. What are the key trends, the benchmarks for maybe 2024, pushing into 2025, that our listeners should really have on their radar?
Okay, trends. We're seeing cautious optimism on budgets and revenue. About 35% of companies slightly increased marketing spend, 28% expect 80, 11, 20% revenue growth. Not huge leaps, suggesting real focus on efficiency, getting more from less. For top channels, B2B in 24 was website, blog, SEO, paid social. For B2C looking to 25, it's email, paid social, content marketing, and email marketing. Still the conversion king, averaging that 91.3% CVR. It just works. Short form video is huge. Most used format now, nearly 30%, and highest ROI for about a fifth of marketers. Content marketing is effective. 74% say it generated leads, almost half say it generated revenue. But notice, blog posts are getting longer, 1,400 words average, much longer than before. People want depth. AI adoption is interesting. Over half used AI for ideas in 24, but only 6% let it write whole articles. So AI for brainstorming, research, content creation support, yes. Fully replacing writers, not yet. Some Google Ads benchmarks from 2024. Average CTR 6.42%, CPC $4.66, CVR 6.96%. But huge industry differences. Arts and entertainment. High CTR, low CPC. Legal services. Low CTR, very high CPC. Rising costs and maybe slightly lower conversion rates overall.
It just underscores you need super optimized campaigns, really tight targeting, and target audiences are shifting. More focus on Gen Z, 36% targeting them in 24. There's also this content paradox. Use AI for efficiency, but rely on human creativity for the really good stuff. And brand marketing and demand marketing, those lines are definitely blurring.
Okay, theory and trends are great, but let's see it in action. Can you share some real-world examples, companies actually getting results?
Yeah, absolutely. The proof is in the pudding, right? So Unisys, for instance, they grew their pipeline by 40%. How? By really focusing on intent-driven strategies, understanding what prospects we're actually looking for. Then there's Seismic. They used AI support, ZoomInfo Copilot, and saw huge productivity gains. Sellers linked 39% of their active pipeline to AI's influence, were 54% more productive, saved like 11.5 hours a week each.
Wow, 11.5 hours a week. That's a significant time back.
It really is. Think what they can do with that time. Then Cronus, using a tool called Lift AI, boosted their pipeline from anonymous web visitors by 85% just by scoring intent in real time on their site. And a couple more quick ones. Digipart saw an 800% jump in qualified leads. AudioWeb generated 4 times more leads. It shows what's possible with focused effort.
Those examples really drive home that productivity pipeline profit idea. Using tech and smart measurement boosts efficiency, fills the pipeline with better leads, and ultimately drives profit. It's not just spending, it's spending smart.
Exactly. So to kind of wrap up our deep dive,
Yeah.
demand gen measurement has truly grown up. We've moved past vanity metrics. The focus now is firmly on real business outcomes, long-term customer value, aligning with goals, taking that holistic view, constantly optimizing for quality. That's the game now.
And yeah, you can't ignore AI and those advanced attribution models. They're fundamentally changing how we work, how we personalize, how we qualify leads, tackling challenges like dark social, finally bridging that sales marketing gap. These aren't nice to haves anymore. They're what separates the leaders from the rest.
Definitely. For marketing leaders listening, the way forward is agile, it's data-driven, but it's also got to be human-centric. It's about embracing tech, yes, but using it to understand the human journey better. Optimizing every touch point, not just for your metrics, but to create real value for the customer too. That's how you drive sustainable growth and show undeniable ROI.
So here's a final thought for you. As you look at how you measure success, think beyond just what you're counting. Ask yourself, who are you truly connecting with? And how can technology like AI help you amplify that human connection at scale?